Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of the problem with franchises. So for this video, I'm going to explain the biggest problem with franchises, whether it's TV shows, movies, video games, whether it could be everything from things like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, the Final Fantasy, and all that type of shit. I'm going to discuss the problem with them. When it comes to it's a negative effect it has on the entertainment industry in a simple and straightforward way, so I don't understand. So if you want to know what the problem with franchises is and figuring out how we can resolve this problem, then watch this video in order to find out. Okay? So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the problem with franchises, the problem with it is very easy. It prevents new things from being created. That's really about it, okay? Whether it comes to TV shows, movies, video games, whatever, it just prevents new things from being created, okay? So you, of course, as a consumer, are going to be more likely to be stuck with the same fucking franchise, that's been there for literally decades, over 100 years, and not be presented with any new, fresh ideas, which can obviously create an issue, just like we're seeing going on in Hollywood right now. Obviously, you can obviously tell the lack of creativity in movies, let alone the lack of creativity in entertainment, okay? It's a massive issue, and it prevents new quality things from being created. It's just same old, okay? And that's a problem with franchises, okay? Because the truth about franchises, as we all aware, like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, and even popular anime franchises like Final Fantasy, another one that obviously that's obviously a well-known one in the future, of course, is that it creates a situation due to how popular they are. They tend to stay around for decades, okay? And due to them staying around for decades, it creates a problem of new stuff being created, because if something is around for decades, for that matter, okay, obvious common sense is going to indicate no shit. There is only so much room available when it comes to producing entertainment for a massive audience of people, okay? This is just basic common sense. You don't even have to be a business person to know this, okay? Just like when you listen to radio, okay? You will tend to notice that they only play at any given time for a span of a few months, only about like maybe 20 to 30-ish songs for out there. For that matter, like 20, 30, 40, 50. You get that, okay? 20 to 50 songs at any given period of time in a span of like 5 to 6 months, okay? And the reason why they have a limit of how much stuff they put out there, comments is going to indicate, because they want to get as many views as possible, okay? Because if you have too many things being produced, like if they had over 100 songs being played, or like 200, 300 songs that are commonly played for a given period of time, then obviously there's going to be a limitation on how much stuff is produced, which of course there being a limitation on how much stuff is produced, common sense is going to indicate, there's going to be less people who watch each specific thing. Things are not going to be as big because there's so much variety. And if there's so much variety, another thing to add to that, no shit, is obviously they're not going to make as much money. And when it comes to story-based media, which just means media that, of course, relates to a story, like TV shows, movies, which are more story-themed, it's the same thing. You can only have so many movies released in any given year. Okay, for that matter, you can only have so many TV shows released in any given year. You can only have so many video games released in any given year, let alone within a span of a decade. There's only so many things you can have put out there in a given period of time, if you want enough people to watch it, and if it ends up being as big as possible, okay? Which obviously the issue franchises have, gotten a little bit in previous videos, is that it prevents there being new things from being created, because there's always going to be a new, there's going to be, like, for example, let's use video games another one, obviously, you can mention a Pokemon video game, this and that, yada, yada, yada. It creates a situation where there's obviously not going to be room for a new series to be created, okay? So you're kind of consuming the same thing over and over and over again, okay? So you're not going to have, of course, new video game ideas, being produced. It's just going to be the same old, which, of course, creates an issue where it becomes kind of the quality of things go down, because when you have a series that's the same particular series, you can only, of course, comic is going to indicate, only do the same thing over and over again until you run out of ideas, okay? There's only so plot type of ideas you can come up with. There's only so many types of situations you can come up with until you just run out of ideas, okay? Which is why you always create new series all the time, okay? That's honest truth here. Just like for music, another perfect example. Why do you think for music they always change up the sound of it every decade? Okay, just like why does music from 1970s, 1980s, 1990s sound different from each other? Because you can only use certain particular instruments, effects, yada yada yada, so much until it's like you've literally run out of things to do. And so it's like if you create something, no matter how original or how creative you are, there's already a song that sounds very familiar. Which is why music always has to evolve and develop, at least for the most part, okay? And when it comes to, media, like story-based media, it's the same thing. You can only have the same series of stuff run for so long until it's just like, I've already watched something about this exact topic and this and that for so long. Maybe let's just give you this example again, Spider-Man. I've already watched a story maybe about Spider-Man fighting against someone who holds a grudge against his brother. I watched this video about Spider-Man fighting against this person who's half robot and this and that. I've already watched a bunch of stories about somebody trying to take over the world. Any situation you can imagine. And it's just like, I've already seen this before. And it's not just a Spider-Man, but literally any series that's a story-based series. Okay? So it obviously kills the quality of the product and creates a situation where it's like, I've seen this before and it gets boring. Especially when you take into consideration these series tend to be very popular for decades. Okay? So, in short, to answer your question, the problem with franchises, they just tend to prevent there being room for new stuff, okay? And as a result, it kills the quality of entertainment and makes things suck like it does now. At least one of the contributing reasons why entertainment sucks now. And that's honest truth, okay? So, now the question, of course, comes, how can we solve this problem? How can we make things better? Besides, this channel's called Theentertainmentadvicechannel channel anyway. Well, the simple answer to that question is it simply comes down to the fact of the matter, as clear as day, no ifs, ands, or buts. What we need to do is we need to have a method when it comes to solution to this problem, where we obviously figure out what's franchise we want to continue and what franchises we don't want to continue. Okay, like we'd have a poll that'd be a really popular poll. Where we have anywhere from millions to tens of people rate what franchise you want to continue or be discontinued, okay? Because we can only have so many franchises out there until we need room for newer things, okay? And if you can obviously do that, it would prevent us from running out of ideas and making sure the quality of craft is respected. There's fresh new ideas and innovations out there as well. Just to add to that, of course, on top of that, we can also keep the things that we like the most. So there's still that familiarity. There's still something I grew up with and say, okay, I like this stuff, and it's theirs. It's not going away, so I can at least be comfortable. Like for example, someone like really like Spider-Man, and say, okay, at least I know Spider-Man's always going to be around, or at least in my lifetime. Okay, if anything. So at least I have something familiar with that I really enjoy, a series that I'm very interested in. I find everything about it interesting, but at the same time, you just also room for new ideas, new things to look at, and so on and so forth. So you get bored of looking at the same shit all the time. Okay, so there's a balance. Okay, there's a balance between the things you like the most and the time for new ideas to be put out there, so you can enjoy new things. So it's a balance, like anything. Okay, so in short, to answer the question, I'm gonna shout it out. No ifs, ands, or buts. When it comes to helping us save the entertainment, we need to start having this with a franchise. A lot of franchises just go on too long. Some of them literally at this point have been around for, you can even say over 100 years now. They just haven't gone away. They're just constantly there. And if we keep on having franchises and franchises that just never really truly and people want to cling on to those old ones, then there's no room for new ones. Let's just say, for example, to give you an example what I mean, let's just say there's about approximately in a given period of time about 50 franchises that are popular. If we obviously have all so many franchises and we don't get rid of them, then what if all the 50 ones are there, are built up over the years, and literally decades later, we're still having the same 50 franchises and nothing new. So in short, we definitely have to solve this problem in order to help entertainment become good again, so things don't suck. And that's the truth. So anyway, this is my video. This is off to say, and simply put it on my mouth. So bye.